Welcome to another edition of Golden Point, a web-based series focusing on the ins and outs of rugby here in British Columbia as well as Canada. I'm your host, Danielle Fernandez. Today I've got with me Paul O'Keefe. Paul is the Canada Rugby League Development Manager in British Columbia as well as the chairman of the British Columbia Rugby League. Paul, that's a lengthy title. Thanks for being here.
It keeps me busy.
It does keep you busy, I bet. Okay, so here we go. The history of the British Columbia Rugby League. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I've been in Canada for just under 4 years now. So the competition's been going for 3 years. We started up from scratch, and we built it up now to now starting to develop youth plans. Got 6 teams in our competition this year, our domestic competition, and we have international teams travelling here. It's really starting to take off. Part of the BC is the distance between here and Toronto, where the international teams play. So part of our plan here is we try and get as many touring teams to tour here in Vancouver or Kelowna, and basically that keeps us playing against top class quality opposition. So it keeps our guys playing the sort of quality they need to when they're called upon to play for Canada.
Right. Now, the Commonwealth Games Championship was in Scotland last year. What was the importance of that event for you guys directly?
Okay, it was our first movement into the youth development area. We picked a squad of under 19 guys, and they were very little league experience at all on the team. Basically, Andy Blackburn, the coach, had the guys for about three to 4 months just to practice and develop them in some of the rugby league skills. They're all rugby union players, and the two sports are quite different. And so going over there, we met up a lot of international contacts, which was great. Probably the best thing to come out of it all was that we really showed what we've been talking about over here in regards to respect. I mean, we come out on the first day of the tournament. Our first game was against England, where we were probably 1,000, 1,000,000 to 1 to do any good. Most people were saying we'd be lucky to win one game in the whole tournament. Well, we come out and beat them 24-4 in the first game on UK soil, so it was a pretty satisfying moment for us, and really built up our credibility, which was really important. That we do know what we're doing, and that all the team except for one player basically come from BC, from Vancouver region. So that was great for BC Rugby League. That the fact that we had such great juniors to call on. We had one guy from Toronto and another fellow who was contracted to an NRL club in Australia, who unfortunately has just retired just recently.
You have some major events coming up this year. Tell me what kind of impact they're going to have on the organization.
Yeah, it's going to be a very busy year. It all starts on May 23rd. We have a nines tournament where we swap from playing 13 men against 13 to 9 against 9. And that's going to be played at Brockton Oval in the world famous Stanley Park. So everyone's looking forward to that tournament. It's our third one, and they're just getting better. So that'll be a day of fun. And hopefully we'll be able to see who the best nines rugby league players are in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. Good for you guys.
Yeah. So then we move on we have our domestic season, and then we move on into our representative season in July. And it's going to be six high quality games of rugby league played in July. So we've come out with a slogan. It's Rugby League Rage, and we've got some logos, and we're going to really be promoting that to try and get a lot of people out to the games. The first of the tourists is the New South Wales students team, which is basically a representative team from all New South Wales and Australia's universities. So that's going to be a great challenge for us. There's 3 games there. And then the one we've all been waiting for is England Young Lions. They're under 19 teams coming out to play us again. And this is the team we beat in the last year's tournament. So it's another challenge for us to play the proper game, 13 against 13 against them, and see how we measure up against like one of the 3 world superpowers are Australia, England, and New Zealand. Not necessarily in that order either, but so this really puts us to the test, and it'll show just how we are progressing.
Can you tell me about your youth development plan? I mean, obviously that's what it takes to be successful here. So 4 years, 5-year plan? Yeah, no, we come back from Scotland, and we have a 4-year plan. This is year 1. I mean, our juniors get to play against the British Lions, which is going to be a really tough test for them. Next year we move on, and we have a trip to Jamaica being organised, and we'll stop off and play in Toronto on the way over. So that'll be the first time that BC and Ontario have ever met up in opposition. So
since we're travelling to Jamaica, we're going to stop off and play a game, probably be under 20s, something like that, versus the Ontario under 20s. So that's going to be a big step for Canada Rugby League. And then in the following year is 2017, and we have a World Cup on, which our senior men's team is really hoping to get into. But also important, there's a Students' World Cup. So Canada wants to field a students' team in that competition. And there's also a Ladies' World Cup. And that's something that, while we're very busy at the moment, that would be something we'd love to get involved into Women's Rugby League. So, yeah, especially with Canada Rugby Union being in the top 3 in the world, I mean, there's a lot of fringe players there who might get an opportunity to play rugby league for Canada instead of rugby union. So it's a good opportunity for them.
Sounds like growth is progressively getting more rapid with you guys. That's great to hear. What is it going to take? What are the officials and what are fans and what are you guys doing to grow the game?
Well, I mean, what we really need is sponsors. I mean, that's the hard part. I mean, compared to hockey in Canada, it's the number 1 sport. So maybe if we changed our name to rugby hockey or league hockey or something, we might have more of a chance. But in seriousness, yeah, sponsors. I mean, we've done this in 3 years without any government funding or anything like that. Going on our 4-year plan. The last year, the plan's 2018. It's actually a Commonwealth Games Rugby League 9s again. So our boys who went to Scotland will get to play again in the Gold Coast in Australia in 2018. And the big thing about that is that will probably be the final clincher to get Rugby League 9s into the Commonwealth Games. And what the big deal about that is, it's a great achievement, but also it opens doors for government funding, and that's what we really need. But in the meantime, we saved up well last year, and through the help of local sponsors, we got a team over to Scotland, which is fantastic. Next year's the big test. We've got to take a team out of Jamaica and via Toronto. So a lot of funding's needed for this. But in 3 years, you can see what we've done. But we're ranked 14th in the world in the men's seniors team. This is incredible growth for a sport, and we've got the right athletes here in Canada. And that's what we want to find is we're not after rugby union athletes. We're after just pure athletes. I mean, the Canadian football system over here means a lot of players quit the game at a relatively young age, and we want to take advantage of those athletes and say, come on, there's a game for you to play, even though you turned 21. Your whole career is only just starting. So it's a really good opportunity for young players and young athletes to come and try this game out, because you're not long in a lineup waiting to try and play representative football. The chances are here right now today.
Wow, you're very passionate about the game, and it sounds like you guys have some great opportunities coming up. A busy couple of years. So, Paul, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for doing this.
No problems at all.